talk about perfectionism in TTRPGs?
Absolutely all of that. I said this in the comments, but I'll say it again for video form. Failure is not antithetical to success. Failure is part of success. We must fail to learn, and learning is the only way that we get better. Now, a little bit of praxis for you. If you would like to practice failing, do game jams. Itch.io runs a lot of game jams. People do these projects where it's like, hey, here's a general topic, make a game for it. When you do these, it puts you under a timeline. There is a deadline to the game jam. You must submit your game before it ends or it doesn't count. You could always post it later, but shh, that's the secret. So it gets you in the habit of just doing things, just finishing a project, getting it out there, and having it exist. And I'm going to show you an example of something like this from Thou Art, which is my one-page TTRPG that I just finished. There's so much I love about this, and I'm really proud of how the layout turned out and a lot of the things that I'm doing. I loved doing this little trifold thing. However, I do not like this table. This table could have and should have been better. However, I am not that good of an artist, and so this is the best I could do. What I wanted to do was have like colored banners for each of these and have them be the same width. It really bothers me that the widths are different, but it's just like I just couldn't make the space work properly, and I couldn't figure out how to make the banners look really pretty. And I only had an hour left in the day to get this done and submitted to the game jam. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to sacrifice something, this table's going to be simple, and I'm going to make this sword look better. And I'm really happy with how the sword turned out. I did a lot of photo bashing on like an actual executioner sword from like medieval era, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But I had to make a sacrifice. I had to cut something that I really cared about in order to make the rest of it better. I, in a word, failed at that element of that game. However, in that failure, I now have a better understanding of what I would have liked to have done, how I could have maybe done it, and the skills that I need to hone if I'm going to do that kind of thing on a future project. It also gives me an easy thing to go back on if I ever want to do like a version 2 and like update the graphics. You can always do that. Just put your thing out in the world so that it exists and people can play it and enjoy it. And then, if it really bothers you that you failed on that one aspect of it, go back and fix it. There's a fucking 5 editions, 5.5 editions, 6 editions if you count the half editions, because 3.5 exists. There's 6 editions of this fucking game. So yeah, just go make the thing. Go make the thing and be a glorious failure. Because it is only by glorious failure that we become heroic successes.